Good afternoon. Obviously, the impending conclusion of the Schumer shutdown. We were pleased to see Senator Schumer accept the deal that President Trump put on the table from the very beginning, which was to responsibly fund the government and debate immigration as a separate issue. I have a statement here from the President of the United States that I will read. Quote, I am pleased that Democrats in Congress have come to their senses and are now willing to fund our great military, border patrol, first responders, and insurance for vulnerable children. As I've always said, once the government is funded, my administration will work towards solving the problem of very unfair illegal immigration. We will make a long-term deal on immigration if and only if it's good for our country. End quote. We will make a long-term deal on immigration if and only if it's good for our country. End quote. And with that, I'll take your questions. Look, the president's number one focus is our national security. He's been very strong on discussing the need for border security and tying that directly to national security. That's a big focus of both the president's campaign at the time and also since he's become president. In terms of specifics of any ad running, those aren't being done by the White House, and I can't get into any details. But his position in terms of the need for border security and how that impacts national security is something we've talked about and been very clear on.
Obviously, if there's going to be a deal by February 8th, it's going to need to be a deal with Democrats.
Look, we've been very clear about what we want to see in any legislation, and I don't think that there's a whole lot of daylight between where we are and where the Democrats are. We certainly want to negotiate and get to a place, and we're hopeful that we can do that over the next couple of weeks. First, on northwest Syria, we call on all parties to remain focused on the goal of defeating ISIS, de-escalating and resolving the Syrian conflict, and protecting innocent civilians. We hear and take seriously Turkey's legitimate security concerns and are committed to working with Turkey as a NATO ally. Increased violence in Afrin disrupts what a relatively stable area of Syria. It distracts from international efforts to ensure the lasting defeat of ISIS. It could be exploited by ISIS and al-Qaeda for resupply and safe haven, and it risks exacerbating the humanitarian crisis. We urge Turkey to exercise restraint in its military actions and rhetoric, ensure that its operations are limited in scope and duration, ensure humanitarian aid continues, and avoid civilian casualties. We want to ensure that Assad's brutal regime cannot return to Afrin, and we will continue working diplomatically to end the Syrian civil war. In Afghanistan, where terrorists attacked a hotel in Kabul, such attacks on civilians only strengthen our resolve to support our Afghan partners. We commend the swift and effective response of the Afghan security forces. Afghan forces, with our support, will continue to relentlessly pursue the enemies of Afghanistan who also seek to export terror around the world. We call on Pakistan to immediately arrest or expel the Taliban's leaders and prevent the group from using Pakistani territory to support its operations.